Every week we sit down with Joe Gillespie, although next week's an off week. So he gets a break from me with the game coming up on Friday against Temple. Last year, one of the classic games, probably your first signature win last year, and the way that game went back and forth. But the Wildcats, Chad President, of course, was on the Midway staff. He's an alum, great player there. You had him when you were on staff at Tulsa, when you were there with Philip Montgomery and company. But this is two teams. They haven't played a lot.
Sure.
You think this like be 50, 60, 90 meetings.
Yeah.
I think they've played like 9 times. Midway's won 8 of 9. So, but this is a kind of a collision course. You can see that coming.
Well, I sure hope we go 9 for 10. And no, Chad President, I consider him a good friend. And I was a coach at Tulsa when Chad came there to be our quarterback, and just a phenomenal athlete, phenomenal young man. I used to sit there and, talk to him a little bit about, hey, why don't you come over and play linebacker for me? And I was being half sarcastic and half truthful, and because I really felt like that guy could have done it. And so just a phenomenal athlete. I know he's going to have those kids playing hard, and have an immense amount of respect for him. This is going to be a heck of a game for us on Friday.
Of course, he was on staff at Midway, offensive coordinator, and then went to Temple to do that with Scott Stewart, and then got the job as the head coach. Anderson, Pope, Terry, Zaboro, and Horton, your starting offensive linemen. And I know others that kind of rotate in. The reason I bring him up was that last week, McNair was sacked. Andrew McNair, who had a brilliant game, was sacked for the first time. And it was a tough hit. He held on to it. You're 6 games into the season, and Andrew McNair, your quarterback, has been sacked 1 time. What does that say about them?
Well, it speaks volumes, and we kind of knew it, and obviously we knew it, and that's something that you hang your hat on as an offensive line coach, as an offensive line unit. We want to protect our quarterback, and among running backs and everybody else, and so that was the first legit shot that that they've had on him, on Andrew. That breeds a lot of confidence into Andrew. The guy goes 5.5 games of not being sacked and stuff. So it gives you a great deal of confidence, sit in the pocket, get to look down the field, maybe make a check down or 2. And, but it also breeds, a lot of confidence in them that receivers are going out and they're running great routes, and the protection with running backs and offensive line. And so, they take it personal. They don't want him to get dirty at all.
Well, he got hit, and it was a good hit from a player that's going to be playing Division I football. And now you have Jamarian Carlton, who is a highly ranked defensive lineman for Temple. We saw him long, tall, lanky body last year. So your thoughts about the talent that Temple has now? I don't know what I know they played Shoemaker and lost the last second field goal. But obviously, he's somebody you have to know where he is on the field, right? You
got to know where he is. And there's different ways to attack guys like that. I mean, I've been doing this for a minute. Sometimes you run right at them, and then other times you sit there and try to run away from them. And, which one is best, I don't know. And but he's a phenomenal football player. We're going to have a work cut out, for him, not just for him, but their entire defense. I mean, these guys are really playing good ball right now.
The game itself, you're back home again, which you're now back on a normal schedule. Then you have the off week, and you don't want to worry about that until you take care of business this week. I remember last week when we were talking about Shoemaker, and I'll go back and forth about whether it would be a shootout, which it ended up being, and you guys had that explosive last minute and a half of the first half. Was that a must win? I thought it was a must win because the Harker Heights loss was a gut check. I mean, got kicked in the gut. And then you drop the 0-2, then you have Temple coming into town. You just never know how that works out. Did you feel that was a must win?
Absolutely. And, we've sat there and talked about it, in the past, David. This is there's so much equality across the board in this district, between us and Harker Heights and Shoemaker and Temple and Cove and, Bryan and Clean and all that stuff. I mean, you better bring your A game every game. Unfortunately, we fell short in the Harker Heights game. Whether I can sit there and say, man, that's a game that we should have won and could have won and stuff like that. Maybe we could have. I don't know we should have, but we could have. And we had our opportunities. Kind of got ourselves backed into a corner. And we needed to go win that ball game versus Shoemaker. Fortunately, we had the explosive last 2 minutes of the first half and to score the 21 points. And then we were getting ball first in the second half. I'll be honest with you, when we were sitting there driving the ball with about a minute and a half left in the first half, I was sitting there just trying to secure the 3 points. And fortunately, we were able to convert it into a touchdown. Then they fumbled the kickoff return, and then we were able to sit there and get another turnover and punch it in and cap on everything with a 6-point variety. And then you go out offensively. We get the ball first, second half, and now you got 28 unanswered points. Fortunately, that happened. Toby Foreman does a phenomenal job, and their kids, man, they can run, and they understand his program and what they're doing. And unfortunately, we sat there and let them back in the game with the big kickoff return, and that was a kick in the gut as well. And so when they did that, we had the turnover, and they capitalized on that. All of a sudden, the momentum starts to shift a little bit. But hats off to our coaches, hats off to our kids. They didn't panic, and we were able to walk away with a big win.
You mentioned just trying to get maybe 3. Abraham Bustamante, 49-yard, one of the top 5 longest field goals, I think, in Midway history. And, I mean, he drilled it because you never know what can happen. You could hook it. It can come up fat, pop it up, get it blocked or whatever. He has been money for you. On kickoffs, I know he had a couple returned, but that's also coverage team. And then field goals. And he just I think you've had like 1 missed extra point, and I don't know what happened there, but he has been money for you.
He's been money. And I'm trying to remember the missed extra point. And not saying that he didn't, but
now you're going to make me think. I wonder if he did miss an extra point.
I think he might have missed one last year.
Yeah.
And
but he's good.
But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But anyway, that'd be the first time. And actually the second time. The first time I thought I was wrong, I was really right.
Wow. That sounds like something coming out of my brain.
Yeah, no doubt. But, Bustamante right now is very confident in what he's doing. And I called him over to the side. I got to watch him during pregame. Of course, you're always trying to play what is it like? What's the weather like? What's the wind like? We actually had a crosswind, east to west, which was a little bit crazy the other night. And there's a little bit more maybe at his back. We kind of chose to sit there and defer. We won the toss. That's the first toss we won all season. We deferred and wanted the option in the second half. And so – but I got to watch him during pregame, and it seemed like if we got the ball at the 30, we were going to be money. And I think we were at the 33, 34, something like that. And I called him over there, and I was like, what do you feel like right now? And he said, let's go for it. And so, I love guys that do that. I don't want them to hem-haw around. I want them to be very confident in what they're doing and what they're saying. And of course, and he is.
Zaboral and Strickland, you got to have all 3. Plus, you have to have the protection too. I know that we can bring up Lathan Wissington every day, every game, and do.
Sure.
But he had 188 yards, whatever it was. But to me, the run that was not a touchdown run, and you and I traded a text or two on the way back, which I was stopped, by the way. The 43-yard run that got you down to the one that Jaden Fields-Vaughn stuck it in. I got to tell you, I've watched a lot of I've done Cedric Benson. I've watched old film of some of the greats, from Adrian Peterson to Earl Campbell. I'm not trying to get comparisons, but that run where if it would have been the old days, he would have had a tearaway jersey and the shoulder pads flapping. That was just special. He had the 58-yard gone. You could tell.
Sure.
But good Lord, that run was special.
Well, I mean, that's a guy that's, number one, he's hungry for the end zone. He wants to help his team win. This guy is wearing everything on his shoulders. He is doing everything he can, and there's 11 hats on the opposite side of the ball that are trying to take his head off. And he will not, absolutely refuses to go down. He's not going to let one guy tackle him. He's not going to be arm tackled. He takes on the mentality of it's going to take 4, 5, 6 guys to get me down. And it's just sheer will and him enforcing his will upon the opponent. And he's a special young man. He really is. And that was very reminiscent of some greats in the past.
And it's good to see Jaden. He's had a couple of those, like 3 or 4 of those 1-yarders. He's known for the long ones.
Absolutely.
But to be able to slide through there and tough enough to be able to do something with it. I just thought that overall it was a feel-good win, a road win. What'd you think of the stadium? First time I've been there.
Stadium.
I love that place.
I love the stadium. You go in and if you pack that place, it's going to feel like there's 20,000 people there. And it's a big road win. It's a beautiful place, great facilities. And, we got to go on the road. And sometimes when you go on the road, you got to create your own juice. And I thought our kids handled it very well.
I think it's pink out this week, right?
Yes, sir.
It's pink out this week. And so the home game at Panther Stadium, 6:30 pregame, we'll have it on radio, 106.7 FM, The Eagle, and also 7 o'clock kick. Midway.tv will have the broadcast as well on their channel. Last question, and I know the attrition of bodies at linebacker.
Sure.
Hudson King's not back yet. He's been out of multiple weeks. Chauncey's out. Mayton's out. And I might, but you have had a lot of attrition. You've had Carl Simmons move up from safety to play linebacker. Obviously, Kazuka. You got a lot of guys, and I'm not trying to forget anybody, but you've had to kind of play chess at that position, haven't you?
We've moved linebackers to D-line, and now we're moving those guys back to linebacker again. We've moved safeties to linebacker. We got us an unselfish team. And so I think, number one, that says a lot about our character and the integrity of our team and kids wanting to win. Kemra Kazaoka, I call him Zoo, coming in and just playing the way that he's been playing and really not having a backup, to an extent. And doing those things. So very unselfish football players, and this goes into the game of life with them, and they're going to be very successful at whatever they do as long as they continue to carry this character and integrity with them.
Brady Pate, another one that had to step up, and it's been what Coach Willis and the defensive staff have done is fantastic. We'll see you Friday.
Look forward to it, David.
Joe Gillespie, head coach at Midway. David Smoak, the Midway Coaches Podcast, every single week right here on 365 Sports.